Hi there, folks! What a fantastic night we had in the Champions League, and what intriguing fixtures await us in the Europa League and Conference League today. Share which of them you're planning to watch. Don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's get the show on the pitch. FIFA has confirmed that the 2030 World Cup will play the opening matches in Argentina, Uruguay and Paraguay, before it moves to Spain, Portugal and Morocco for the later stages. Dar in England, the VAR referee who was responsible for a blunder made in the last weekend's clash between Tottenham and Liverpool, will not take charge of any Reds matches for the rest of the season. Barcelona will listen to offers for all first-team players, as the club are still operating above the 270 million euros La Liga imposed annual spending limit, Diario Sport reports. Juventus are favorites to sign Tottenham Hotspur midfielder Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, whom Spurs are ready to sell in the next transfer window. Paris Saint-Germain have conceded 4 goals in a single match for the first time since February 15, 2020, according to Opta. Saudi Arabia has submitted an official bid to host the 2034 World Cup, the country's crown prince Mohammed bin Salman confirmed. Ajax will collaborate with the Brazilian side Atlético Paranaense on talent development and scouting, the Amsterdam club's press service reports. Borussia Dortmund are tracking AC Milan's 15-year-old wonderkid Francesco Camarda, who has 485 goals in 89 appearances for Rossoneri's youth teams, Bild informs. Atletico Madrid forward Alvaro Morata has already delivered 7 goals and assists combined in 8 matches this season. Chelsea captain Reece James has been suspended for 1 match and fined £90,000 after using improper, abusive and insulting words and behavior towards a match official in the Premier League Matchday 6 fixture against Aston Villa, in which the Blues suffered 0-1 defeat. Osimhen's renewal? There's no problem. There's never a problem. Everyone in Napoli is always happy. The problem is when they leave, they can no longer find the main road. Tutti Mercato quotes Napoli owner Aurelio De Laurentiis as saying. Paris Saint-Germain manager Luis Enrique told now-departed midfielder Marco Verratti that he is the prototype of the player that he hates, Le Parisien writes. Bayern Munich and Sven Ulreich are open to the idea of extending the goalkeeper's contract until 2025, regardless of Manuel Neuer's comeback. I'd be delighted to play for Real Madrid, of course. It's a super big club. Journalist Elisa Lasso reports the words of Feyenoord striker Santiago Jimenez. Erik ten Hag's position as Manchester United manager is secure for the foreseeable future and is not an issue up for discussion by the club's hierarchy. AS Roma have officially announced a 2-year shirt sponsorship deal with Saudi sports and entertainment festival Riyadh Season. There was the possibility of coming to Marseille, and for me it was a dream solution, but we didn't find an agreement with the club. I felt sorry about it because the stadium and these fans would have been a big motivation for me, said Brighton Hove Albion manager Roberto De Zerbi. RB Leipzig forward Lois Openda slotted 5 goals and delivered 2 assists in his first 8 appearances for the club. Atletico's Antoine Griezmann scored his 31st Champions League goal to overtake Wayne Rooney, Kaká, and Samuel Eto'o, who all have 30 goals, Squawka notes. Wolverhampton Wanderers winger Pedro Neto is open to the idea of joining Arsenal, Football Insider claims. Atalanta are planning to make AC Milan midfielder Charles de Ketelaere loan deal permanent as soon as it expires. At 17 years and 210 days, Paris Saint-Germain midfielder Warren Zaïre-Emery became the youngest Frenchman in history to provide an assist in the Champions League. Manchester City and Manchester United have identified Brighton and Hove Albion winger Kaoru Mitoma as a key addition to their squad in the January transfer window, Fichajes reports. Playing all my life for Barcelona? I wish it could be like that. Happier than at Barca, I'm not gonna be anywhere else, I'm sure. I'd do everything, anything for this club, Gavi said. Juventus have sent their scouts to the Champions League game between Antwerp and Shakhtar Donetsk to observe the performance of midfielder Georgi Sudakov, Calciomercato states. Bayern Munich are among several European top clubs, tracking 15-year-old American winger Julian Hall, who last week became the second youngest player ever to play in MLS when making his debut for New York Red Bulls. Ousmane Dembélé is already one of the leaders in the PSG locker room. The first criticism of his lack of effectiveness did not affect him psychologically, L'Equipe writes. On Wednesday, we saw the final games of the Champions League match day 2. The results are on your screens. Let's have a brief rewind of yesterday's matches. Atletico made an emotional comeback in the home tie against Feyenoord. Losing 1-2, Los Colchoneros managed to turn the game around and win 3-2. Meanwhile, Borussia Dortmund and Milan shared points in a boring 0-0, and Newcastle showed incredible display and quality in a duel versus PSG, 4-1 in favor of the Magpies and the first huge sensation of the ongoing Champions League campaign. The reaction of PSG president Nasser Al-Khelaifi and sports advisor Luis Campos is, well, you got the picture yourself. Barcelona coped with Porto in an away battle, 1-0, thanks to Ferran Torres' goal scored in stoppage time of the first half. Manchester City withstood RB Leipzig in Germany with 1-3 on a scoreboard. Phil Foden, Julian Alvarez and Jeremy Doku were the ones entertaining the audience with accurate shots. And now, all the attention to the main news of the day. Barcelona are interested in bringing Bayern Munich's Leroy Sane to the Camp Nou, Bild understands. The footballer's agreement with Die Roten lasts until 2025, though the Bundesliga champions could sell him at the end of the current season if it's not possible to agree on his renewal. Sane highly appreciates the coaching staff of Barcelona. Blaugrana manager Xavi Hernandez had considered signing the German during the previous 2 transfer windows, but the Catalans were not attempting to submit any bids due to financial struggles. Still, if Barca figures out how to fix their financial situation, then Sane can end up at Camp Nou next year. This season, the stellar winger played 10 matches for Bavarians in all competitions and scored 6 goals. The Transfermarkt portal values him at 65 million euros. Mauricio Pochettino is dreaming of taking Juventus striker Dusan Vlahovic to Chelsea in a bid to improve the team's attacking line and secure more goals. This summer, the Blues have recruited Nicolas Jackson from Villarreal, Christopher Nkunku from RB Leipzig, and David Washington from Santos, but the attacking trio are yet to have a strong impact on the pensioners' results. Because of this, Pochettino wants to add one more forward to his roster, and Vlahovic is seen as a priority option for the Argentine manager. However, the club could face difficulties in reaching a deal with Juventus, as the Turin Giants are demanding more than 70 million euros for the Serbian, making Chelsea hesitate and eventually postpone the initiative of a summer move for Vlahovic. Manchester City and Real Madrid will rival next summer to acquire Bayern Munich left-back Alphonso Davies. 90 Min's Graham Bailey believes that the Canadian, who has just 2 years left in his contract with Bayern, will eventually decide to leave the German side in search of a new challenge. It's a big decision for him. He's out of contract in 2025. He's 22 now. He turns 23 later this year. It's huge for him, primarily because he knows Real Madrid are in for him. Real Madrid are very keen on Alphonso Davies. We also understand that Man City are keeping tabs or have asked to be kept in touch at the club's behest. Can Real Madrid beat Alphonso Davies to the Premier League? We don't know how far it's gone. Obviously, Bayern think he might sign a new deal. I think he might decide to move on, Bailey said. Guys, as always, we will continue to bring you new high-quality videos from our other projects. Have a good time watching. Thank you, and see ya in the next episodes.